Hello, everybody, and welcome to Books, Life, and Beyond. What lays beyond? Who knows? With myself, Matthew Young, and of course, Michael Woodhouse. Yeah, how are we doing, Michael? Had
Yeah,
a
all
good
good.
hot week.
It's been a very hot week. But yeah, no, it's been a very productive week as well. So all good, all very good. What about
That's
yourself?
yeah, just a bit warm working outside, but it's hot for everybody, of course. You know, we're all having to struggle with it one way or another, whether it's work, sleeping. Obviously, you had any tips or anyone to perhaps?
Well, I say tips. I'd say more hope. We're looking forward to Christmas.
No, it won't be long. 6 months' time, that'll all be over.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah. Well,
better weather.
we put bowls of water with like the ice packs in front of a a fan, so it blows that out because you put a bit of moisture into the air. Even opening your loft hatch because obviously heat rises. So just anything that even just bowls of water around the house to put it into the air, bit of humidity and the rest of it. Anyway, so moving on to the books, of course. So I checked out on your YouTube. What is Last Train to Canterbury?
One of the Probably one of my favorite books. It touches on about dementia and people's ways of looking at life and how we see people with dementia. So not only from their perspective, but also from other people looking in. And the whole story is based on a man who lost his wife, and his last memory is with his wife on a train to Canterbury. And then the whole book is basically him trying to get on this train to go to Canterbury, and he's chased by this figure, this scary figure, which in this part of the book is like a horror. It's kind of a horror part of the book, and he's chased and he's scared. And towards the end of the book, you realise that there is no train, there is no platform. He's in a care home, opening up doors to other residents' rooms in this care home. He's lost, he's forgotten, and he's just in his head. He's just trying to find this train. The figure gets him, and it goes to stab him, and then reality hits. We kind of understand what's happening. He's fighting against carers who are trying to inject a resting kind of drug into him to try to rest him. And yeah, so the whole story is based on a perspective of how they see it, and kind of
A
to make
life
other
journey.
people aware. Huh?
A life journey on a
Yeah,
train.
basically, yeah,
I think there's lots of misconceptions because, as you say, like aggression can come into it, but that's not for everybody. Some people can become the nicest person
definitely.
themselves. So it's one of those that I could talk about for a long time. In the facts of like it's something we're all concerned about, and we all feel like you mentioned yourself that you lose somebody. But there's two ways of looking at that: is you don't the person's personality, such may have changed, or it's not the person that you know. But there are people who come across health-wise where their body breaks down. That's different in different way because they're not able to do the things they used to do. So yes, they might be able to speak in their mind, but they're not going to be able to do the actions that you might have done, or play with someone, or have a bit of fun, or go out just for a drive, etc. So, yeah, there's so many ways of how someone can be a bit lost. But with dementia, if they're happy in their own little world and they're safe, then just be, I wouldn't say be grateful for that, but you know where I'm coming from. It's kind of
Yeah,
just like you got to look at the not positives, but the pros and the cons with it all as well. Say someone's aggressive, then obviously that's a really tough rope mentally to go down. Obviously. So okay, so that's your book this year. This year, on about this year? Blimey, it's talking about
But
time going so quick, aren't we?
it is part of the Woodhouse Stories collection, which you can get on Amazon and Lulu. So yeah,
Yeah, I had a look at that. So he's on Amazon. Any luck? How's it going? Is it getting any feed
yeah,
notice?
it's going slow, but like we are very early days still.
Yeah,
So,
it's got to
so
pick up. So the thing is, it's hard to get noticed. That's
yeah,
it, isn't it?
uh,
It's like my own YouTube channel. It's for the first time. I think we're like 697 subscribers. We're kind of thinking, can we ever get to that 700? And it's never been about numbers. It's always been about just doing it for the social bit of fun and learning and practice and trying new things. So, but one day we'll hope to get there. We're very close.
definitely.
So another part we do is a bit of a film review or something on TV. So have you noticed anything this week?
Well, I will put in. I've got two things: the football and the news slash Prime Minister's questions. but but yeah, no, I haven't watched any films this week. But I have watched them. Have you watched any films?
It was Supergirl for me this week.
Oh, I've heard some really shit reviews on that.
Um, it could be better, no doubtably. I think this is what a lot of people go wrong, and some critics they're comparing it to others. They say it's a bit of Mad Max, and I can see that. They say it's a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I can see why they say both of those things. Purely Guardians of the Galaxy because there's too many alien characters and too many worlds. If they're comparing it to Superman, the best bits of the Supergirl film are when they're actually talking about her history and her, when they slow it down away from those other worlds and talking about her and her story. That's probably the best bits in it. The action scenes are good. It does lack a bit like Superman's got the do do do. It does lack that for her. She's got a bit of music where she's flying around doing all that, but it doesn't give you that goosebump moment. It's like she herself's very good in it, and obviously it's about Crypto saving Crypto, her dog, of course, and then she makes other relationships. It's like the Jason Mahan character. To me, it's more his character looks more like Ghost Rider. Now you'll
Oh,
have to see the film to understand. When I say they say all like these different characters, but he just reminds me of the Ghost Rider because of the bike he uses and the choice of weapons like a long chain. So he doesn't burst into flames or anything, but the bike has flames and he uses a chain. So it just reminds me of Ghost Rider.
yeah.
Tell me you know what Ghost Rider is.
Um, no.
Okay. No, we're
Well,
moving on.
I think
It's the film. Look, the
it's
film's
the
not
guy with
terrible.
horns that rides the bike, isn't it?
No, his face comes to the skull when he's on fire.
With 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 no, okay, I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
keep
no. Don't
guessing.
worry. We'll move on from that. No, the film is not terrible. The film is not great, but I think it's an introduction as a solo character to her because she will now be introduced more like next year. We're going to get the new Superman, Man of Steel, I think it's called. That Man of Tomorrow. So she's going to be more in that. And I do wonder whether they're going to build her character because she doesn't care so much like the Superman character. She's not so forgiving, bit more angry type person. Whether you could end up with a slight, not necessarily Superman v Supergirl, but there's differences there, a bit like Batman and Superman, the past films. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good film. It's not you're not going to walk away thinking, "Oh, that is absolutely terrible," but it does lack a bit of thing. And I think there's just too many dark scenes with all the different worlds in, and say the best bits are her own little story bits.
Do you think that they could? Well, is there a chance that they are remaking Superman too many times?
No,
Straight answer. Good.
I,
Well,
I it is. It would be. I really liked Harvey Keitel. Many people did, and obviously there's big cry when you get these new characters. You do build into it. The thing is, I like superhero. You can give me a superhero film like every other month. Um, I mean, the creativity in them. They're not always the world's greatest stories, but the creativity in them isn't recognised enough, in my opinion. Superman had a big gap. Let's be honest. He actual you had a like Dean Cain did the TV things, and like you had one or two other ones, and then there was a big gap until the Harvey Keitel. The trouble is, it's like Spider-Man. You've had lots of cameo roles in the one or two others, so they're recognised within that rather than individual films.
I think Dean Cain was my favourite because he's the one in the New Adventures of Lewis and Clark. Is that right?
Clark, Lois and Clark, yeah,
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 I loved that.
yeah. You had that other one recently, a few years ago. It was on BBC. They didn't really promote it as well as they should have done. That was a very good series as well. And of course, Smallville was still spoke about today.
Sorry, you said that there was something on BBC. What was on BBC?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. They did another series. There were three series where he had a family, Lois and two boys.
Oh,
And it is on BBC iPlayer under Superman. I can't remember the original name of it now. But yeah, no, I don't think there is because obviously we've got Spider-Man coming up, and then you've got some others all coming up as well. And I think we have had these for quite a long time now, since Iron Man and things like that. But DC isn't doing it quite as well as Marvel, no. Maybe that's a budgeting, maybe it's the characters, maybe it's a push. Who knows? But no, I Superman. So maybe I'm being a bit biased because I think Superman's probably my favourite, big, not just because of the character, but what he stands for as well.
yeah. Well, there is talk of a new Halloween film.
Yeah,
So I think they're doing a new because there was Halloween H2O back in the day, and I think they're doing another one to mark it as another decade or some sort.
I know there was a Halloween video game on pre-order.
A video
So
game.
a video game, yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
are you sure it's not a video game rather than a film?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
So I never heard about the video game.
Yeah.
Although I mean, that's crazy. I mean, a game to just go out stabbing people. That's you might have
That's,
just
that's
and live
about
in
three
London.
quarters of the game population, ain't it?
But no. The actual film. It's is it HBO Max
Mm.
who's bought the rights from the original owner of the franchise, and they're going to turn it into a TV series and a one-off film as a celebration or some sort like that.
But they're doing this a lot, though. You know, we're speaking there like Superman, they said too much. But there's so many age things. Last week you mentioned Masters of the Universe. Apparently, Thundercats is now in production as well. If you've never heard of that, check that out. Um, but we're going back to like it as well, where they're doing the TV series on
Yeah.
the Sky Atlantic, which was a great series. It had its moments in between, but it ended fantastic. And then you've got the same. We just there was obviously we got the new House of Dragons, but there were several series. Chucky's the one I'm trying to think that have been made into series to try and I don't know if it's to test the waters or prolong the life of it. And of course, different situation, Ted, you know, just trying to whether it's trying to make the most of it or whether to see how audiences are responding for other things. You mentioned, of course, about the World Cup.
Yes. England 2-0 last night. Wow. Well, 2 nights ago.
Yeah. So, did you enjoy the game though?
Yeah. Okay, so the first half, we watched the first half, and we turned it off because we thought we're gonna lose. So we turned it off, and I went on to YouTube. My wife's watching a film, and then suddenly my phone just pops up 1-0. I was like, shit, I just missed a goal. Then 10 minutes after, 2-0. I thought, oh my God, I best turn it back on. Then no more goals.
We'll blame you for that
Yeah, I know,
then.
mate. So, wow. But no, yeah, it's good. What about you? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, say the first half wasn't much. I think they should have moved the ball around quicker, the same as the second game. They didn't really. They need. I don't know if it's just a bit more belief in themselves. They would say it's pressure and probably more worried about not losing. But it didn't really have much to lose yesterday because it was already qualified. Yes, could have got top spot, but we did get a top spot as England. So it was there to win rather than to lose. So I think they do need to put a bit more. It wasn't too hot yesterday. It was in the rain, so there wasn't really that. So, but we're through. That's the important bit, of course.
Definitely.
In poor old Scotland.
And top of the table, aren't we now? In
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, what about life? Anything happening in life, general?
Well, some like always, some bits I just can't talk about, but other things. I mean, in general, to make life better, Keir Starmer's resigned. That's a pro.
Is that your
Um,
politics? Is that your PM you was going to speak about?
yes, yeah. So that's it really. Like that's the probably the highlight that we've had for the country, and I think that's I don't think this new guy is going to be any good, because I think he's more left than Keir Starmer himself, but that's not here or there. That probably isn't for this video. But
Your
yeah,
politics video. That would be interesting. A politics video.
God,
Will.
Jesus, could you imagine?
Yeah, I think, obviously Keir Starmer's left purely because of obviously pressure within, which it is the right thing. He wanted to prolong it, but he did highlight where he keeps saying he's going to stay in, he's going to challenge, he's going to do this and then go, which kind of sums it up really. You either keep quiet or do what you say.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what, people getting a bit tired with politics.
I find it
So
amusing that Trump announced on Sunday that to the UK and the world that your prime minister is going to resign tomorrow, and then
yeah.
and then Keir does on Monday. So
Well, that's Trump for you, though.
yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah, and I think that shows a bit of lack of disrespect because it wasn't for him to put it out there.
and yeah, I
Mm.
mean, yeah, right, and rightly so. At least with Trump, he's transparent.
Yeah. So let's move on to something positive now.
Yeah.
And one of the things you wanted to introduce was the competition.
Yes.
So you want to hand that over to you and
Yeah,
competition?
cool. Yeah, I'll try to remember it. No, I'm joking. So all we're asking is you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once you've subscribed, the first 20 will be inputted into a raffle, and then one of them winners, I think the first 20 people will win an audiobook.
And of course, anyone's welcome to perhaps get in contact and maybe if you want to leave a message, we can talk about it. If you want to perhaps, I don't know, maybe see if we can join us on the chat maybe. So we'd like to reach out to anybody who's out there in a friendly, welcome way. Obviously, even, you can agree to disagree. That's absolutely fine in the world, you can laugh about it and walk on afterwards.
And promote your book, your business, your event, your activities, free of charge on here.
That's it. So obviously you've got Mark Woodhouse Stories on YouTube, and of course Facebook, and of course you've got the Amazon and Lulu. Is it? You can say where you can.
Lulu and Spotify, yeah.
That's it. So anyone's watching, obviously, go over to the YouTube things and ask us what story you want Michael to talk about next time as well. So that'd be interesting. So we're going to finish off with something we started last week, just for the fun of it. We called it Pass the Plot. So for 15 seconds, I need to get my stopwatch ready. It'll be like a made up story, going to do 15 seconds each. Obviously, this is totally unrehearsed, as we can see at this very moment. I started last time, so I'll let you start this time.
Okay, cool.
Okay, best luck.
Derek walked through the dark doors. He turned the lights on, but no lights would turn on. He tripped over and he picked it up, and it was
The black bowling ball from last week, because old Derek was still here. And yet the rolling noise went along the creepy floorboards. Was it to disturb anybody else, or would it reach the end of the room?
it stopped by a foot, and suddenly a torch lit up the face of this masked man, who grabbed the bowling ball and smacked it against Derek's head.
Poor old Derek, he knew no better. In the dark, with a black bowling ball, with a creepy little figure. Was it Casper the friendly ghost, or was it his neighbour next door trying to get some sleep? There we go. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, just a bit of fun. I was trying to think of the right word. You know, when they do it in America, don't they? They do a lot where they just make things up with people acting on stage. I was trying to think of the word. You know, I was trying to think of the word of all that sort of thing. But yeah, so there we go, everybody. So thanks for joining us. And so we'd like to hear from you too as well in any way. And obviously the Facebook and YouTube's all out there for everybody to come along and join and support as well. So thank you very much from me.
One quick thing. So sorry, Matt. Doctor Who isn't cancelled, but it's off and out, and it will be back. But I can't. I'm just so happy that we're going to have someone else take over.
Yeah, Disney have got it, isn't it? I believe Disney have got it. Disney Plus.
No, Disney dropped out.
Did they? Oh,
yeah, right. Disney pulled out, and then the BBC was like, "Shit, okay." So they was going to do a Christmas special, then they cancelled that at last minute, and so now they put a bid out for people to put a bid in to run the show. So Russell T Davies is now out the picture. And they're looking for a new showrunner, production team, and the whole thing.
The problem is, if they leave it too long, people obviously you had this Billy Piper ending on the last one. People's just going to forget it and move on.
Yeah, for definite.
But, yeah. Anyway, we hope you don't move on. We hope you join us for some more. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been Books, Life and Beyond. Take care now.